Hello and welcome to Model Train Fun. My name is Bo Jensen and today we are going to unbox the newest InterCity 2 or IC2 from Märklin. Please do remember this is my own purchase and is not sponsored. So why did I buy this marvelous train? Well, first of all, because it's Era 6, so it's modern. It's a full consist, so you can see here I got the locomotive here, which is class 146.5. This is Märklin 37449. And then there are 5 cars behind it. Passenger cars. The first one is actually first class car, which is Märklin 43486. Then there's 3 second class cars, which is Märklin 487, 489, and then 490 at the bottom. And then at the end, there is a cab control car, which is a 43488. So what I really like about this is it's a complete consist. It's modern. So you can see here, if we look at the passenger cars, these are the modern ones. So this is the second class we got here. You can see here the cab control car, where you kind of can see there is a cab out here, although it is difficult to see. And then there's a bike room as well in here. I like it because it's a complete consist. It comes complete with interior lighting. So if we look at the first class one here, there will be, as I understand it, lighting at both levels. So lighting at both levels in the double-decker. And from the cab control car here, there's actually a functional decoder in here that can control the light on the front. I believe there's a sign on the front too. There's a sign on the sides. And it can control basically the light of the entire consist. So to me, I find this really cool when the model train manufacturers make something where, well, basically I don't have to do anything other than put it on the track. So let's put it on the track. So the locomotive as part of this InterCity 2 consist is the class 146.5, depicted as it looked in 2020. It's the one that's number 572-3. I looked at some pictures on the internet I could find, and it actually looks like the pictures. One thing to note is there's a consist number on the side of it. 2873. It looks like it wasn't present on the locomotive until 2019, but it fits here with this one that's depicted as 2020. If you look at the entire consist, it is the InterCity 2 or IC2. They are actually more or less permanently connected together. That's also why there's the 2873 consist number on there. There was actually 27 trains put in service that has consist numbers 2850 to 2876. So this is actually number 73. The reason it's called InterCity 2 is that it's a double-decker train or bi-level train. And that's actually why it's called IC2, where the normal InterCity are more standard passenger cars. So this is, of course, from the German railways, so Deutsche Bahn. It's a Bombardier TRAXX locomotive. It's a type F160 AC2, which means it's a AC powered locomotive, and it can do dual voltage as well. The F160 is actually the passenger type of this AC2 series. The AC2 series is an evolution of the TRAXX AC, which started with the class 185 and continued into the TRAXX AC3, which followed afterwards. So the AC2 series is actually built from 2004, and it's still being built. In particular, the F160 AC2 series was being started to build from 2005. There's a total of 547 AC2 locomotives built to date, of which 154 are the AC F160, hence the passenger trains that have been made. 73 of these are for Deutsche Bahn Radio, so they're regional services, so German regional services, and 27 for Deutsche Bahn Fernverkehr, which is their, let's say, remote lines or intercity lines. These locomotives were built in 2012 to 2015, and this particular one is produced in 2015. The weight is approximately 83 tons, the length is 18.9 meters or 62 feet. The speed is 160 kilometers an hour or 99 miles per hour, and you will find it in Germany, and actually chiefly on some specific intercity lines. So the InterCity 2 is actually used where you typically wouldn't see the InterCity Express or the ICE trains, which are the high-speed trains. So this is either because the lines don't support high speed, or it could be because the stations are too close together, or for that service you wanted it to stop more often. So the consist itself actually consists of 5 cars. The first one after the locomotive in this consist set from Märklin is a first class car, so it's a bi-level or double-decker car of class 672.2. The type is formally called the InterCity 2 or IC2 TWINDEXX 2010, and these were specifically purchased for this consist. The speed is 160 kilometers an hour or 99 miles per hour, and it's used in Germany. I don't have any specific information on the number of seats and so on. The next cars in the consist, there are actually 3 of these. There are 3 bi-level second-class cars. They are of type 682.2, and you can see there's 3 different numbers here. They're depicted as in 2020, like the locomotive and the first class and the entire consist. They are of the same type as the first class, and they have a speed of 160 kilometers an hour and 99 miles per hour, specifically built for Germany. The final car in the consist, and the 5th car, is actually the cab control car, which is a second class car, and it's of type 668.2. Again, it's similar to everything else. So all the cars fit together. They're all made specifically for the intercity service and called IC2 of the TWINDEXX 2010 type, running 160 kilometers an hour or 99 miles per hour in Germany, of course.
Einfahrt der IC 2045 nach Dresden Hauptbahnhof. Bitte Vorsicht bei der Einfahrt.
Nächster Halt, Magdeburg Hauptbahnhof. Nächster Halt, Halle-Saale Hauptbahnhof. Nächster Halt, Leipzig-Halle Flughafen. Nächster Halt, Halle-Saale Hauptbahnhof. Nächster Halt, Magdeburg Hauptbahnhof.
So what do I think of this InterCity 2 from Märklin? Well, first of all, I like that it's InterCity 2, the IC2. It's an entire consist you get. It's actually a 6-part train, 1 locomotive, and then 5 cars, where one of them is actually a cab control car, so it's a push-pull train. It's the full push-pull train. I think it's really cool that you get an entire consist that you can actually put on your layout. It's a modern passenger train. You have to be aware that it is actually a very long consist. So you saw on my little layout how much it filled, and it really didn't fit with my small train station on the layout either. The total length is 165 centimeters or 5.4 feet. I like the detailed printing that's on there. There's a lot of details. The printing is fine. You saw in some of the pictures around the doors, there's seat numbers, there's destination signs on locomotive and cab. If you zoom down below, you can see everything there. You can see there's lots of seats inside and so on. There's also a nice light and sound. For the locomotive, what I specifically liked there was the station announcements with multi-stations. So every time you activate the F13 for the multi-station announcement, it will go to the next station on that particular line for that InterCity, which it's supposed to look like. And when you change direction of the locomotive, it will go the other way in the same line of train stations as well, or station announcements, which I thought was really cool and a nice detail. There's of course engine sounds and everything else, but what I really also liked was there is full interior LED light on both levels of all cars, which I found really nice. It works by having current conducting couplers between all cars, and it's controlled by the cab, which also means there's 2 decoders in there that run both MFX and DCC. The 2 decoders, there's one in the locomotive that has all the locomotive sounds and all sound and so on. There's also one in the cab control car that controls the light of the entire consist, so you can turn it on and off in the entire consist through the current conducting couplers. And you can control the light on the cab as well. This means that you can change the direction more naturally, because on the normal cab control cars in the Märklin series without a decoder, it's actually activated by either push or pull, and then it changes. It looks a little funky, but it works. But here you can actually just change it directly on the controller. The cool thing is the 2 decoders are made to fit together, so the lights are on the same spot, and the direction of the light is opposite on the 2 decoders. This is handy when you put them together in a consist on the central station tree, for example. I actually had very smooth operations on there with both push and pull. You noticed my layout is small. I have a lot of R1 curves, so the tightest curves. It worked actually pretty much perfectly on there, except one place, and I couldn't really figure out. There was one place on the layout where when the cars were pulled between car number, the first car after the locomotive and the second one, the first car seemed to have where the buffer would actually slightly touch the current conducting couplers and could cause derailment. Not all the time. So what I would caution is, if you have a small layout with lots of R1 curves like I have, you have to be careful, because I believe the consist is right on the limit. It's very long and it's actually heavy. If you just push it with your hand, there's a lot of rolling. I wouldn't say rolling resistance, because it rolls nicely, but it's heavy. And there is the extra also slider in the other end to pick up power and so on. So I'm unsure if this will cause a long-term issue, so that's why I didn't make it a winky here for the smooth operations, but more like maybe need to be aware of this. I think it's the current conducting couplers. If there is an issue, perhaps the solution would be to replace with more permanent couplers that wouldn't be able to interfere with the with the buffers. But all in all, I really like this consist, this Märklin InterCity 2. I like that it's a full consist with locomotive. It's modern, it has cool light, it has sound of course also, and it is a full consist. I really like it.